This video series is sponsored by Black Wall Street, the board game. Real people, real businesses, real possibilities. Join our Facebook group for updates and sales promotions. Check out our website, trueelforever.com. Hit the tab, Black Wall Street, the board game. Real people, real businesses, real possibilities.
So, a lot of obstacles I see, but y'all kind of already have your vision on how you're going to kind of tackle each point. So what's a solid resource, or maybe there's a lot of resources that are pushing you to help Guap Coin and help the Guap team be successful in its journey?
Well, our biggest resource is the community. We've had many people that love Guap, love the premise of what we're trying to do, and support us. We do have support. So that's really, really good. And that's probably the most important thing right now, is to grow our community. So, we're working on things to grow our community and to get the word out about what we're trying to do. And then once we get the word out, we have to now explain the vision, because people will hear a little bit, but they don't know the entire vision. Like, well, I heard a little bit about Guap, but I didn't know you were trying to do that, or I didn't know you, so we have to make that vision clear where we go. So, that's the challenge, But people have said to us, well, why don't you, go more public as far as where you're fundraising and this and different traditional settings? Well, we're trying to raise the awareness of us within our community, so the outside community doesn't form the opinion for our community, doesn't form or misinform them of what we're trying to do.
Another reason why I think it's obviously good to start in the community first is because if we're the second or the third to invest past the ICO, then you kind of already lost out on that initial investment. So if people from outside the community are coming in when it's 3 cents or 1/300th of a dollar, and then we don't get it until it's a full dollar, that's kind of a lot of upside that our community just lost there.
Yeah, and then we're not so much concerned with that portion of it, because that's the tricky side. That's the side that we really are not encouraged to deal with. But on this side, we need to get people off of that the investo fever that's going on right now, or cryptocurrency. We can make a lot of money doing this. I don't want to tell anybody you can make anything with Guap. If you have an investment or somebody advise you what you're investing, go ahead and do that. If you're not feeling like you want to support Guap for what we're trying to do, then this isn't the right thing for you. If you're looking at this like this is going to make you rich, this probably is not going to make you rich. So you might want to go to something else. But what this is going to do, what this can do, is help build and strengthen the financial resources within our community and help support our businesses within our community. That's what we can do, but we can't do anything else. We can't make promises of anything else, and we don't even want to, because our core mission is this. Our core mission is establishing something of values, of worth, that we can use to make educated decisions about, or make have a greater vision of what Black business is all about, what businesses in our community is about. Because we don't even know what that looks like. Nobody knows what the next, the fastest growing business or this in our community, or what, what speaks to our needs, or what companies actually support our communities, or what companies are detrimental to our communities, what companies are financing the destruction of our communities, and are you buying and paying and sending your money into that?
Right.
We don't know any of that. There's not a place where you can go to get that, but we intend to have that established as a place that you can go to get that information, that business information, so you can make a better decision about where you're spending your money and who you're spending your money with.
So that's why you say it's a movement. It's about like financial awakening.
Right, exactly. Because you could be financing your destruction. And so let's turn that around.
Got it. We'll let the song play out for a second.
Who is financing
Right.
the destruction of the community? That is a powerful question, Tabana.
Very.
And if we could answer that, If we can
We will be able to,
You know, us
one day.
being able to answer that question is just as powerful as being able to recycle wealth in our community. It's so, you know.
And I kind of think that I know I've heard Tavana say before that, you know, us being able to determine who's in our community, and then us being able to negotiate on our terms who comes in, and we have an opportunity to also negotiate how they impact our community, their contribution to the community. So,
And somebody might have a question about what is our community, right? And that's fairly simple because, you know, when you're sitting around with people and you get all together, you're like, well, didn't you know there's this place you can order from so-and-so, and, you know, this is a black-owned business and blah, blah, blah. And we might have all these little disjointed talks about this person we can, you know, support. And it may not be a person that's literally located in our locale. Maybe this person is in Canada somewhere, or maybe this person is in, you know, Africa, West Africa somewhere. You know, all over. It's global. It's a global community. But when I say community, we all know what community is. You know what I mean? Who is supporting, you know, our growth and healing and as a people? Who supports that? You know what I mean? Whose priority is that? Because it's not everybody's priority, and it shouldn't be. It doesn't have to be. But if it's your priority, then that's your community.
Got it. So it's about growing and healing the African diaspora as a whole.
Right. If that's your priority, if you have issues with, you know, people of color, you know, within your family, whether it's your brother, sister, whatever, your friends, and you have the same repetitive issues, you know, and you see these issues like a mask everywhere, then that is your priority. That is your community. That is something that you would love to see some healing take place in that. And all of that for me is based, like I said, it's based on your value system. It's based on having a values. It is usually the people who feel like they have the least, you know, and it doesn't matter if you got a lot of money in your pocket, but feel like they have the least inside, you know, whether it's family, whether it's legacy, whether it's anything, you know, and you know the difference. Because if you, like say you're a person of color or something, and you go into corporate America and you sit down with somebody that has a legacy, you can clearly know the difference of where you're coming from versus where they're coming from and where the deficit may be, you know. But of course, that person can't fix it for you. You can fix it, and then your community can fix it, you know. So you can, from here on, go forward, creating things or creating that value, building that legacy, so for the future generations to not suffer from these same issues that you and people before you have suffered from. You know, so we got to build something, and we got to, you know, hold it to its importance and its integrity and its wholeness for ourselves.
So looking at 2018, what are some things that y'all want to build or achieve by the end of this year?
Definitely by the end of this year, we want to have our platform, our business platform. We want to have business data flowing. We want to have voting systems in place, protocols and systems in place. I mean, this is like an autonomous thing. I mean, it's more than just money. It's more than just cryptocurrency. It is social life, you know. So we want to be able to have that platform completed, so that we want to be able to, people to be able to go to that platform. And it's not just say people, like we have business directories. It's not a business directory. No. We want to see business data. We want to see what's going on behind the scenes with these things, you know. We want to be able to benchmark things. We want to, if somebody comes to me, you know, or comes to us and say, hey, we need money to expand, you know, or grow, and where do we pull from to give that person money for their business to grow? Where do you pull that from, that information from? You know what I mean? So we want to be able to have that available so that people can feel good. They'll feel good about the decisions they're making, investing in businesses and black businesses, because they can see the progress and growth that's going on. So that's where it starts.
Okay. I know this isn't really for me, it's for my fellow engineers out there, Nesby, okay? So towards 2018, as Guap Coin expands, we all be looking to hire more engineers,
Oh
computer
my God,
scientists.
we're gonna have,
Yes.
yeah, oh my God.
You know those
yeah.
next level problems? We're
Right.
gonna talk about all the time,
Right.
is that, we're gonna have, what was that? Oh my God, whose team is that? We're gonna have those issues. There is going to be a big growing bust of, within Guap. We're gonna need people in every area of the company, from operations to technical to HR to, I mean,
Name it.
you name it, and so
Support.
support.
Yeah.
And so.
Business development, I
Yeah.
mean, all of that,
All of
because
that.
we're dealing with businesses, so, and this is a area in which, yeah. So this is like the the Black Small Business Association kind of, on steroids, the SBA kind of thing, So that this is where we're what we hope to see, and not even hope. It's definitely doable. Me being in technology and have built as much things as I've done for Fortune 500 companies, I know it's doable.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not coming from there. When they put you under pressure to build something,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So there will be lots of growth, and you will stay tuned.
Right. I mean, we have something to play with. People the first thing people said to me, of course not, our folks, other folks have said to me is like, well, why you pick such a small market? I'm like,
Yeah.
everything that you do, you live your life is influenced by this market. You know what I mean? Like, you may not know it. You may not know it, but when I turn on the TV and I hear it and I see it, I know it. So, that's huge.
The market's
So
not just in America. That's
Right.
the thing.
Absolutely.
They
Right.
don't understand that the diaspora is
Exactly.
Right, exactly. Have you ever seen sometimes they do these little shows where they show you what if these people weren't here, then all this stuff would just kind of disappear. That's what we're trying to show. What once we build on where we're coming from with that, it's like we are very, very, very influential in this world, despite what people want you to believe. They want you to believe that you are a minority, you're insignificant, you didn't contribute to their wealth, you didn't do this. They want you to believe that. So I'm like, okay, let's just prove it. Let's play prove-sies. Let's get the numbers. Let's prove it.
I mean, like Black Panther just proved that.
Yeah,
I mean, they just
yeah.
said that Black movies don't make money, that type of money, or especially overseas. Both of those points were blown out of the water. So,
Right. Yeah. So I believe that our money, what we need to get together, makes the world go round. So we need to establish that.
And the interest in our culture. One of the things that I'm passionate about is, so many people are interested in our culture, but not the people. You know what I'm saying? And so, what Guap is really passionate about is making sure that the culture is protected and the people of the culture is protected.
Yeah, and it's protected by value.
Right.
You value it, it will be protected.
Right.
If they think you don't value it, they just walk around and just take it and go on their way, and then they do what they do with it and value it. That's what people do when you don't value stuff. They take it away from you.
So, one of those ways is, one of the things that I'm really excited about what we're doing is, even with the blockchain technology, is the music platform, and being able to allow artists to really own not only their rights, but more of the income from their music that's generated with their music. Because so much in today's world, artists just don't, and so they have the impression that there's not a lot of interest, or there's not a lot of people of color that are spending money in their music, that the money's coming from people outside of the culture, and but they're interested in the culture, but they're not of the culture. so to speak. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
And so the blockchain will support that. It's going to support really where is money's coming from, and whoever it's coming from, it's coming into, it's the love of the culture, and these people created that, and they should be supported. They should be supported in many ways, not only with recognition, but monetized, in a monetary way as
Right,
well.
because for every artist that we have, there's 100 artists that didn't make it,
Absolutely.
that are equally as talented.
Right.
Absolutely.
But they didn't make it through the obstacles, they didn't make it through the poverty, they didn't make it through the struggle to get there. So you can imagine if we had more support, that area, just how much more, could grow out of that area. So, that's where we are. I mean, when I look at an artist, and having been, dealt with the music industry and stuff like that, when I look at the music industry and I look at somebody, I'm like, I know so many other talented people, and it's like, this is not, people think, well, might be, unique, and I'm like, no, it's not at all. It's about more where that came from, So,
It's not even the best of the best at the top.
Right.
It's just the ones,
Fit that commercial mode.
right,
absolutely.
right.
It's the one that was
right.
selected.
So, right, exactly. But see, that's playing with the numbers, because you want to let a little bit of goodness in, but you don't want to let it all in, because if you let it all in, then it takes over what you got going on. One person is a lot more controllable than 100 people are.
And then how many people eat off of that one person when they really do make it? And is it really helping the culture that it came from? How many people, if you think about even like Michael Jackson, his musical influences were, he'll tell you, but, James Brown, blah, 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 all this other kind of stuff. But how many people ate off of that? How many people at Sony? How many people at, the different places that he worked? How many people, and then how many black people really benefited from his legacy? Really monetarily benefited.
Right,
from
right.
his legacy.
And then even, the life expectancy in the music industry ain't super high because of all of the struggles and stress that there is. When they finally do get to that point, they have a whole new set of problems that could be,
Exactly.
that could probably be alleviated if we just stepped up and
Took care of our people.
Yeah, and took care of our
Because nobody's going to take care of you like your people.
Right, exactly. There never should have to be somebody that performs in front of us and gives us so much and is suffering behind the doors because they're being sucked dry and just used as a machine to whatever. It should never be that way. But, we only would have that conscience to do that because we have this is us, so. But this is, like I said, this is the leveling platform to be able to inject our humanity into our industries and set things on a more balanced path.
Got it. So I like to move into the visualization exercise, which might be led by you as the chief visionary person.
Okay.
But I can do it. I just thought you might be better.
Oh yeah, she'd be dope.
What exactly would you like to do?
So I would like y'all to first hold hands,
Okay.
team, community. Go ahead and close your eyes, please. And then I would like to lead through what the past has looked like, what the current, present looks like, and then what 5 years from now looks like. So would you like to lead that? Would you like me to lead y'all?
I'll let you lead us because I'm not really
Okay.
clear on what it is that you want me to do.
So let's go ahead and close your eyes.
Okay.
Take 3 deep breaths. In, out, in, out, in, out. So I want you to first think about where you were a year ago. What were you doing last March 2017? Where were you? What were some of the concerns you had?
Just jump in and go, or we're just
Just visualize and just think about it.
Okay.
Just think about it. Okay, now I want you to fast forward to the end of 2018. Your ICO was successful. You have reached communities throughout the United States, educating them on what the blockchain is, what cryptocurrency is, what the potential of Guap Coin can be, and they hear you. They understand the potential. The platform is complete. Everything you have worked so hard for is manifesting. Now I want you to take that feeling, multiply that by 5. 5 years have now gone by. It is 2023. Imagine what that looks like for you, for your family, for your children. What does that look like internationally? It's been 5 years. Guap Coin has continued to grow. How does that look for the people in the Caribbean? How does that look for the people in West Africa? How does that look for the people in Japan, Canada? You have built an international community centered around economic empowerment. Okay, 3 breaths in, out, in, out, in, out. Okay, can you open your eyes? Okay, so what did it feel like? Particularly going backwards, because I heard some laughs. How did it feel going back to where you were a year from now, and then how did it feel going to the end of 2018?
It felt freer. It definitely felt free.
Yeah, I would agree with the freedom. It felt like I was moving towards a purpose.
I felt more in alignment. A year ago, we were just talking about, we were ending
our former lives as
ending our
corporate
former
entities,
lives,
as corporate.
Still holding on to past
Mhm.
identities. I went through this whole thing last year of trying to hold on to who I used to be. I think Tavana went through that
Same
too.
thing.
And you know, trying to release that. It's a book in that.
Okay,
We're gonna go get to
book
that.
coming.
And together, I think we moved into a space of trying to be who we know we're in alignment with now. And I think right now is more in the present with alignment with what is. And for me, the end of the year is about really setting a precedent of many avenues of where the future will lead, not only for me personally, professionally, physically, financially, but for my family and for my community. And it's creating many roads for many people. And like Tavana said, it's like we have the hacksaw and we're cutting down. There's so many more ICOs that are coming behind us, and it's so many other people that are coming behind us. And today we're talking about a camp for kids to creating their own coins, and from creating, you know, consulting with other businesses who want to create their own ICOs, and then with the Guap itself and in Jamaica, and people really being able to, you know, to join into this movement and finding themselves building their own selves up financially and learning about crypto. And you know, we're not all about Guap. We tell people all the time there's other currencies that can support you. Learn about this business, learn about how, you know, learn about cryptocurrency, because it is a way that can really free you financially. And so it's just about doing more of that and really being a catalyst for great financial freedom for our people. That's what I
I saw, as far as the future, I saw excited people of color. They were excited of what the future holds. Yeah, Wakanda. Yeah. People having children and being able to say, hey, you know what, I have a way of letting my child go wherever they want to go to college. I can, you know, kids growing up going, hey, you know what, I can go to the moon, I can be president, I can do whatever I want to do, and being a part of something that is going to redirect Black history in a righteous and more correct way. I would say to her all the time that, you know, we're making history and we're not trying to make history. This is not about us as individuals, or not about being famous or nothing like that. You know, I live by the Snoop Dogg creed. Ain't no fun unless my homies can have some. So I want it for everybody. You know, no more crabs in the bucket, no more crabs in the barrel. Just kick the bucket over. It's enough for everybody, and we're all going to enjoy this. We're all going to grow, be able to go in our communities and see sprawling. What's the word I want to use? Prosperity.
Yeah, my thought has always been, like, I always think big, you know, and I always told myself for at least the last 20 years that I keep seeing 2 billion in my head, right? And that's my number, 2 billion, right? But then I think about it and I'm like, what am I gonna do with $2 billion? Like so many other people can have a piece of that, and I'll be satisfied with a little piece of that to, you know, be able to do my little thing. You know, I'm like, so just the thought of you can create that, and it is a possibility, it's a reality. It's always been a reality to me. I talk to my kids every day, you know, and I talk to them, and I mention that 2 billion to them, and I know some of them might think I'm crazy sometimes, but they know me. But that's my reality, you know, and I think that should be everybody's reality. I think everybody should know that there is an unlimited, you know, potential source that's available to them, and all they have to do is, you know, open up to it and you know, embrace it. That it's a possibility. There's no one taking that away from you. Nobody can take your creativity away from you. You know, you give it away most of the times in anything. So, but I saw freedom. Like, it just, you know, when I looked in the past, I think of all the weights and the things that held me down, and mainly the fears, you know, the fears. So I see, you know, being able to overcome the fears.
Right.
So there's been a lot of wisdom and advice kind of threaded throughout this interview, but if we can end on a piece of advice that you would give to fellow entrepreneurs, whether it's people trying to create their own coins, people trying to create their own clothing brands, just people trying to build their businesses, can each of you give kind of a nugget of wisdom for the up-and-coming entrepreneur?
My greatest advice, and I see this often, is that people are oftentimes afraid to open up and share their ideas and bring other people in, because some people think that somebody's going to steal it or whatever. But I say, you know, that famous phrase, what God has for you, no man can take it away. That is the most truest thing I ever. If it's yours, no one can steal it. If it was meant to come through you, you're going to make it happen, and other people are going to come along just as if by magic and help you do that. So, but you got to be open to that happening. So, you know, don't be afraid to reach out to people, follow your instincts, your intuition, and allow yourself to be led to people who can help you do it, because you can't do it all by yourself, you know, and you might be able to get but so far. But when you find with many businesses, they get to that ceiling of where the growth stops, and, you know, and that's when the business starts to die, you know. So you gotta open up and allow people to, you know, help you make this vision a reality, you know. So.
Thank you.
I would say that if you can imagine it, it can happen. Like you said, being able to understand that it's your dream and it's your idea, and nobody can take it from you, and being able to balance that piece between pride and humility. And when she talks about being able to bring people in and being able to use and have them as support, but that's really it. If you can imagine it, if you can dream it, there is no dream that's not so big that it's impossible.
Right, because everybody's not a dreamer. Some people are supporters, you know, some people are here to really put the glue on it, you know, to make it happen. You just thought it, you may not have that glue to make it happen, you know, so everybody has their roles, different types of people.
That's right.
So you have to open up to allow those different types of people to add to make that business successful.
And just understand that no longer the sky is not the limit is the sky. So you can do what you want to do. It's just really all up to you.
I would say a practice, you know, and I'm a big proponent, they know this about me, and it's, you know, it's creating a practice that will create success in your life. And, you know, having a team of people that will support you in that. I mean, we talked about that, but, you know, having something that you can lean on every day that will move you through all of the obstacles and things, because they're going to be difficult days. You know, one of the best things that I can do, I mean, some days are just hard.
Yeah, some people don't, because you didn't get to see what other people went through and you only get to see where they are, you know, you think that something is wrong, you know, when it may be right, you know, it's right. And this is the process.
Right.
You know, I think it's almost like, and I equated it yesterday, I think the other day, to boot camp. You know, people get in boot camp, you got somebody yelling in your ear. Well, everybody knows boot camp is like this. That's gonna be boot camp. You know, so you're suffering. Yeah, you doing the thing, but this is what everybody goes through.
It's hard.
You know, it's hard. But in business, you don't really have that business boot camp. You know, with people telling you, you know what, this happened. You know, everything closed down on me. I ran out of money. I did this. I had to do this. I cried. Nobody, you know, did all of that from the business. You know, you get the good face on front.
Oh, well, they started in their garage, and then, you know, they had the Facebook and Silicon Valley. No, we did not. No,
Just 2 steps. That's
no,
all.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of
a
lot of pain goes into success. And you got to be prepared to give that pain up. You got to be prepared to experience that too.
Yeah.
And that goes with it. And if you're not prepared to move through that, then get prepared to move through that before you
right. Because everybody is not going to believe in what you're trying to do, and you're probably going to get more criticism than anything.
Absolutely.
And if you're a person that can't, you know, if you think criticism is just a method of shooting you down, then you're going to have problems. But if you work really hard to take that criticism and try to integrate it in some way, even the critic, you know, even the opposition, if you've done all you can to reach out to the opposition and trying to see from their perspective of where they're coming from and have a conversation, and if it still doesn't work out with them, then that's fine. But there's something that you can get out of it. It's a takeaway that you can get out of it. And if you look at it that way, then you won't feel bad about the situation that took place. You look at the takeaway that you can take away from the situation.
And even with your own team, you know, every day is not going to be the best day.
Oh, goodness.
You know, every day is not going to be, you know, follow yellow brick road. You know, you have to learn how to love and be with people, even when you don't agree, even when you're like, oh, I ain't feeling it, you know, but you still you're there together, and you sat down and you created a vision together, and you have to learn how to have the fortitude to move through things. And so 10% of this is work. 10% of it is work. 90% of it is a mental, spiritual, and emotional game. And that's real.
Yep. And what she's talking about moving through, that's why it's great to have a life coach. Because that's what they're there to help you move through issues. You know what I mean? You know, if you don't, a lot of people come to me and their biggest thing is that they're by themselves and they don't have anybody to support them or whatever. And I'm like, look, get a life coach or get a business coach, get somebody that could be your support system, and there's plenty. So make sure you budget or cut a portion of your business, your life, your money, your funds to make sure you get a coach to help move you through those situations.
Got it. Okay. Any last shout outs for social media, websites, Black Paper, ICO? Y'all can go ahead and hit
The
them
black
up.
paper,
Yeah.
the Guap black paper. Please check that
Yeah,
out.
you can get that and visit our website, of course, and which is guapcoin.com. But also we have a group on Facebook, Guap Crypto Newbies. We are in the process of launching 2 communities outside of Facebook. But if you come to Guap Crypto Newbies, you'll find out about
All
those
about it.
communities as well. This is the next phase, is to grow our community, grow this nation. We're actually going to be so thrilled with the whole fundraising part hopefully being over, because we really want to focus on
Right.
growing the community
Right,
and getting the word out amongst the community.
right.
Sounds good. Check out the website, guapcoin.com, Black Paper. There's an Instagram.
Yeah, Guap Coin. It's Guap Coin everything.
I also want to shout out the people on our team.
Yes,
There's other
yes.
people on our team. It's not just us fine people.
Yeah, right.
Eric Parker, our
Parker.
Chief Marketing Officer,
Yeah.
he's super dope. Eric
Eric
Duncan,
Duncan.
Chief Technology Officer, super dope. Who else we got?
I know we probably forget people.
wow.
Jasmine.
Our Jasmine.
Jasmine is-
She's our social media person. She is awesome.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
She does her thing every
Yeah.
single day.
Mhm.
Who else we got?
Gosh, we got so many.
Yeah, they got a village.
Damien.
They got the
Damien.
whole village.
He's
Yeah.
our attorney.
Yeah, I know. Damien, our attorney. Damien Bevel, our attorney. Yes, I mean, gosh, we got
Anita.
a lot of Anita,
Darren.
our UI. Yes.
Anita, our UI.
And Darren.
And
Darren,
yes,
yeah.
Darren, our graphic artist. Yeah, so many. We got a really, really good team. Like, we got an A1 corporate enterprise level
We
team.
really do.
Very
so
good.
we're very grateful that we are very supported and,
Yeah.
keeping things moving. So
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I learned a lot that I wasn't expected to learn even before the interview and after. So definitely check out Guap Coin, do your research, join the movement. It's gonna happen. You should definitely do your research so that you can be a part of it. All right, Sean? As usual, I like to end all my videos with a stay true.
This video series is sponsored by Black Wall Street, the board game. Real people, real businesses, real possibilities. Join our Facebook group for updates and sales promotions. Check out our website, trueforever.com. Hit the tab, Black Wall Street, the board game. Real people, real businesses, real possibilities.